Today we are going to discuss about classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is also called respondent conditioning and Pavlovian conditioning. Classical conditioning is a behavioral procedure in which a biologically potent physiological stimulus is paired with a neutral stimulus. The term classical conditioning is also refers to the subject animals learning from the pairing of physiologic stimulus with a neutral stimulus, which elicits the required response from the neutral stimulus rather than the physiological stimulus. The Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov studied classical conditioning with the detailed experiments with dogs and published the experimental results in 1897. In the study of digestion, Pavlov observed that the experimental dogs salivated when they fed red meat. Pavlovian conditioning is distinct from operant conditioning. Laws of classical conditioning. The first law is about acquisition. During acquisition, the conditioned stimulus and the unconditioned stimulus are paired. The extent of conditioning may be tracked by test trials. In these test trials, the conditioned stimulus is presented alone and the conditioned response is measured. Usually, a number of pairings are necessary and there is a gradual increase in the conditioned response. This repeated number of trials increase the strength and frequency of the conditioned response gradually. The speed of conditioning depends on a number of factors such as the nature and strength of both the conditioned stimulus and the unconditioned stimulus, the previous experience and the animal's motivational stage. The process slows down as it nears completion. The second law is of extinction. If the conditioned stimulus is present without unconditioned stimulus and this process is repeated often enough, the conditioned stimulus will eventually stop eliciting conditioned response. At this point, the conditioned response is said to be extinguished. The third law is recovery from extinction. Several procedures lead to the recovery of conditioned response that had been first conditioned and then extinguished. This illustrates that the extinction procedure does not eliminate the effect of conditioning. These procedures are the following: reacquisition, spontaneous recovery, disinhibition, reinstatement, renewal. The fourth law is stimulus generalization. Stimulus generalization is said to occur if after a particular conditioned stimulus has come to elicit conditioned response. A similar test stimulus is found to elicit the same conditioned response. Usually, the more similar the test stimulus is to conditioned stimulus, the stronger is the conditioned response will be the test stimulus. The fifth law is stimulus discrimination. Once observed stimulus discrimination when one stimulus elicits one conditioned response and another stimulus elicits either another conditioned response or no conditioned response at all. The organism learns to differentiate these.